le langi mama whaataro whātu le pa ia mana malu o whaafonga mai nei Jamie o Brian Sangala le nei my Brian Sangala events specialist mo lava o ngā wākuruwi I ngā male whaatai le atua mo ngā anga le leima ngā lofa tūnoa koe a fo I aku le vi inga male whaatai le atua tu mau pēr le alofa a le atua to e whaataro whātu I le pa ia mana malu o whaafonga mai, ai mai se mo le tātou atu nuu Samoa ia, nei New Zealand, mo le vai aso ngana Samoa Language Week, luafe, fulu mo le lima le autu, mo le nei tau sanga o le vai aso ngana Samoa, o le ia malu lau sa for lau I langi ma, a well-grounded self is a successful self. So firstly, just acknowledging Samoan Language Week 2025 and a word of encouragement. If soaswani, ai mai se mon tātou atunu Samoa, ai mai se hisi ia e le atua lātou malosi I mea anga nuu wha Samoa ato anga pea, and taumawhai pia. Alu taumawhai. So again, hello everyone, welcome. Brian Sangala here from Brian Sangala Events Specialist with episode 3 of the Art of MCing Public Speaking, coming to you live and direct from my state-of-the-art studio, aka my bedroom here in Mangere East. Mad Angry, Rub the Hawk, come on. Also, before I continue, just want to acknowledge all the recipients of the King's Birthday Honours List, especially those of our Pasifika community. There were a number that were honoured in this year's King's Honours List, which was published earlier this morning. So congratulations and thank you for your ongoing service to our community. Okay, so for those of our viewers joining us for the first time, to give you a bit of an overview. So the Art of MCing / public speaking is a journey. Well, a look at my journey as an MC, facilitator, creative, broadcaster over 30 years, and some of the insights gained from 30 years being in the industry and working across different sectors, especially when it comes to MCing. And well, public speaking, of course, is core to any form of communication now when you think about it. Public speaking, whether you're emceeing, whether you're a news reader, whether you are a marriage celebrant, a broadcaster, actor, passing on sage words of wisdom during a family mafukanga, etc., etc. It's all communication art. So hearing some of the insights and lessons from my 30 plus year career in this space, in the hope of helping those that are looking to get into emceeing and to help you avoid some of the pitfalls, but also to help you if you are serious about a career in this particular field, which I would say it's quite niche. Mind you, anywhere in the world there's always an MC, but to give you some insight and to help you and tips that can help you in terms of longevity and getting consistent work. So over episode 1 and 2, we touched on the role of an MC, what makes a good MC, and also being yourself. And if you'd like to watch back those ones, you can go to YouTube channel and watch those back. And this week we're going to be touching on preparation, the importance of preparation. What's the saying? Proper preparation prevents poor performance, and others they like to add in the other P. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. But the value of preparation, it can't be stressed enough when it comes to, emceeing I put this down as one of the main factors in terms of my longevity and consistency of work as an MC, and it is something which audiences will never see, but the fruit, whether good or bad, audiences will see, in that if you prep well, it will put you in good stead, emceeing, hosting, leading an event, and conversely, lack of preparation, the fruit will show in front of an audience. If you're standing there and you look like a deer in headlights, a look that I've had many times in my earlier days. And if you don't know what that looks like, it looks like this. Or does it look more like that? What's it called? That little animal in the safari? Meerkat? Is it meerkat? Somebody? Okay, I digress. So, preparation, it's self-explanatory, really, and it is the level of preparation is dependent on you as an MC preparing for an event. The way that I like to approach an event as an MC, I always say to an organizer, there's no such thing as too much information, TMI. The more, the better. And that can be anything from what is the vision, what is the purpose of the event, what is the feel, when it comes to speakers. Okay, tell us a bit about the speakers. What's the bio on the speakers? Preparation can be for yourself. Okay, speakers where you're given information by an organizer, but then you go off, you can look at their socials, you can look up articles about a speaker, and that there's no limit to how far you choose to go in terms of preparation. And though many times, as much preparation I put towards an event, so whatever an average event is, it can be a minimum for me of maybe 5 to 10 hours, yeah, easily. And the reason for myself goes back to some of the things that I touched on in terms of, or in earlier episodes where I touched on, when someone engages you to lead an event and when they're paying you, it is inherent on you. It is your responsibility to pretty much earn that right, that opportunity to host, to lead an event, and especially if you're being paid being paid good money with an event. You are, as I said in episode 1, you are the traffic officer. You are the person that is leading the event, even though you're being brought on as an MC on the day for an event. Everybody's looking to you. You're the face of the event, and so the preparation that you do in leading up to the day of an event, again, will greatly determine the success or failure of an event. And so preparation for me always begins when I'm engaging a client. I do have a client checklist which I send out, and it's covering things that I've touched on in terms of, okay, what is the vision of the event? What is the purpose? Why are you holding it? How did it all come about? A lot of times with events over the years, it'll be an inaugural event, which is always so great because it's the first of its kind in there. And so it's important for me as part of my preparation, but also grounding, getting an understanding, helping me to understand, okay, what's this all about? Why? What's the why for this event? And then after that, it's always asking, okay, then what are your expectations of me as an MC? What do you see my role on the day of the event? You may have things that you see, okay, this is what, or this is how I'm going to approach it, and that's all well and good. But then if it doesn't align, and if it doesn't match with the client's expectations, and you don't talk that over before an event, it can come, it can end up with a bit of egg on your face. So it's always good to get an idea and understanding of expectations of yourself as an MC. I'm at the stage now where, because I have had a lot of years of experience, and a number of organisers have seen me in action in emceeing, so they know my type of style, and so a lot of times when I'm brought on to lead, people always will already have knowledge of the way that I operate in that, but it doesn't mean that I take that for granted. If anything, it's still, you've got to ask those questions. And so that's all part of the preparation. Bios for speakers, for performers, and things like that. And again, for me, I like to go I like to go and scour the internet and stuff like that. There may be something, say, on the day where a speaker has said something, and I might have made a quick note from my preparation where on a post they highlighted something, and to me it's like, oh, okay, it triggers the memory for me in that moment, and that's all part of the preparation as well. I'm talking about the importance of preparation, and it is so very important, and the grounding, the foundation that it does lay in terms of the event, and again to determine the success or failure of an event. But after you've done all the preparation and that, it's a matter of, how do I explain this? Being able to throw it all out the door, sort of thing. Example, here's a point. Example and point. So a recent event, I was blessed to be asked to reunite with my 531 PI family from Pacific Media Network for the recent 50th anniversary of ASB Polyfest, and so I got asked to come in and do live hosting on the day. Now, leading up to the event, I did an all-nighter in terms of preparation and that. But then when I arrived on the day, and I was working alongside Siosi, George Mongatonga, program director at 531 PI, and we just got talking. I was like, oh man, all that prep I literally just threw out the window, and we just went organic. We went organic, and we were just pulling in members of the community, performers, families, and that, and it was right for that time. Now, of course, I'm not going to do that with any, with every event, because of course a lot of times there's a structure in that. But when that opportunity allows, and you have that freedom and the confidence, and I think the experience of working at 531 for 9 years, and feeling comfortable in that space, and working alongside people that I'm familiar with and they know my style, then it's like, okay, go for it. And it made for, I feel, engaging content on the day. But again, in terms of preparation, it's so very important. If you are new to the game as an MC as well, it can actually help you to allay nerves or fears. It's not the easiest thing standing up in front of a live audience, and even now this is live, this is in front of a public audience. So whether it is going live on your socials or standing in front of a live audience, it's not the easiest thing. But I believe that preparation can help in terms of helping to allay those fears, whereby you're leading an event, and okay, I'm feeling a bit nervous, but you have done the work, you've put the work in the preparation, and so that can help you to sort of get over the nerves. And that, it's a good point that I bring up. Thank you, Brian. With regards to nerves and how people deal with nerves, public speaking, I believe, is still the number fear which is greater than death. statistically, what is it? Where does that fear derive? I believe that it's the fear of people, the fear of how you may be judged, how you may be judged, and especially in this day and age of social media and that. But whatever for me, I still get nervous even after 30 years. But having the experience that I do, one way that I one method that I employ, as many of you watching have seen online, is the MC intro. Your MC for the da da da. For me, it's not only a calling card, but many times I've employed that as a means of just getting over my nerves. It's like that fight or flight. And I've been in those instances many times as an MC. But here's the thing, and for all our MCs watching, when you're standing in front of a live audience and it's time to go, there's no backing out. There's no looking out and going, oh, I don't want to do this anymore, because by then it's too late. So the fight or flight, and I don't know if it's my upbringing in Porirua and there, but when I get in those situations a lot of times, you know what I say? After I've said my prayer in that, I've said it a number of times. Oh, well, that's it. It's like, oh, well, let's go. And then it's literally just taking that leap of faith. It will also determine for yourself how you overcome nerves, because you may have done the prep and all that, but the thing is if you are constricted or suffocated by your nerves, that won't be good to anyone. And that's another reason why I say to people, when you're going to be an MC, always put the focus on the audience, focus on serving the audience and not yourself. Because if you're always focusing on yourself, it's very easy to spiral out of control, to go down a rabbit hole. So that, what else are we touching on in terms of preparation? There's something else when it comes to the journey of an MC, is engaging a client. And this is something that people, when you're starting out as an MC, the question you get asked, oh, what's my fee? How much do I charge? I can't give you a particular strategy, but what I employ in my emceeing now, and the level of experience I have, there are different tiers that I have, because I MC events across many different sectors: government, corporate, community, private, large scale, to award dinners, to ring announcing, to ground announcing, to ground MC. So any number of events, but the three main sectors or pillars, I have like tiered pricing. I have a range for corporate and government, and for community. And so when I'm engaging with a client, talking about the budget, and it's always a good question to ask right from the outset. Okay, you're keen. Okay, what's the budget? What's your budget for an MC? And so from there, of course, you'll get a number, and then it's up to you as an MC whether you would accept it or not, or whether you can say, okay, then this is my usual pricing. Can we meet at this point, the X amount? If no, then okay, then. But you've got the information. If yes, well then good. You can always negotiate. And if you're someone that gives like just a flat fee, but you are open to negotiating, then just say that. And whether you're applying by email or over the phone, just letting the client know, hey, this is my usual fee, or this is my usual price range, but I'm more than happy to negotiate. And that this is a conversation which I've had to push myself out of my comfort zone, because in the early days as an MC, it was literally, oh, whatever. Hey, okay, call hard and stuff like that. Oh, yeah. But the thing is, when you've done enough events, especially in my early days, whereas literally I'd be doing 2, 3, 4 days worth of work for one client, but all you're getting is a feed, or it's like, okay, maybe $100 for a thing. And it's like, you get upset. But then the thing is like, well, you didn't have that conversation to begin with. So when we're talking about engaging a client, you gotta have that conversation. It may be something that you're not comfortable with, but you've got to get over that, because if you're going into an event and and it's just, oh, koha. Well, what's koha? Because I'm asking myself, well, this is the amount that I think a koha is versus what the client's koha, and then at the end of the event, and you get handed a koha, and it's like, oh, this is not the amount that I was thinking. All that indecision, all that questioning in your mind through the whole journey leading up to event could have been avoided just by having a simple conversation at the outset. And this speaks a lot to value. I believe that what I bring as an MC, and let me park that, when I talk about value, I'm talking about, oh, Glenn, Sapel, Mr. Glenn Jackson. Uh, so when I'm talking about value, I've got to park this for a bit, because I want to stress this. I am not trained in the art of public speaking. I believe wholeheartedly it is a gift that I have been blessed with, the ability to be able to communicate, to engage, to articulate, communicate with people. It is something that I have been blessed with. But I always come back to the verse. Yeah, this is what God's blessed me with. But a workman is always worth their hire. So in the early days where, oh yeah, did it for koha, or oh bro, a feed will be fine in that. The level of experience I am at now, I believe that I'm worth a certain amount, and so I'm not shy in putting that amount forward. And if I give you some of the fees that I share, it's like, oh my gosh, because we're talking about thousands of dollars. But again, I believe what the value that I bring, and the value that I bring to any given event is worth that. And the preparation again is very, very important in determining not only the success failure of an event, but it will also speak to the type of person that you are and the way that you approach MCing. Or it could be anything. If your job, you get paid to do 40 hours, but you're just turning up and clocking in, but you're okay. There's another talent altogether. But if we're talking about specifically about MCing, and that for me, I I I want to give the very best of myself to a client, and it's a reason why I believe that I have had the longevity that I've had in the way of MCing, and that I can only speak to you from my own experience. And you would know this yourself as well, Glenn, as a musician, as an artist, and I've seen you perform time and time again. Also, Sihina, we bring the very best of ourselves in any given work or gig that we do, and that determines ongoing work. I've been so blessed to have repeat business, repeat work from clients. One client off the top of my head, over the years, I'm looking at about 10 events for one client. And so when you get repeat business, that is a really good sign that, hey, you're doing a good job, and the way that you're approaching it, the way that you are preparing, the way that you are on the day. I am, and this is going back to being yourself, I can only ever be myself. I've said that a number of times to clients that have worked with me before. You know the way that I am, and this is, I'm not going to deviate from, it'll be hard for me to deviate from that. And they go, no, that we want you. We want the we want the Brian Sangala experience. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's good. So we're talking about preparation, engaging a client, and again, in terms of being yourself, bringing your full self, your whole lived experiences to play and to bear in any given event. A lot of these things that I'm touching on would be things that I've repeated over the last few episodes, but these factors, these pointers, which again I'm thinking about those that will watch this and that are new to the MCing game, or if you're wanting to take it to another level, or you want the sort of longevity. It's interesting. I've just secured a wedding in December with a lovely couple. And it's so funny. I say, oh, how old are you guys? Oh, I'm 24. And the other fiance, oh, I'm 25. And I laughed and I went, oh my gosh, I've been emceeing longer than you. You've been alive. And already in our communications, they're already calling me uncle. It's like, oh, it's just a number. It's just a number. But anywho, but it's such a blessing, for those watching, Glenn, for those that are watching, that have been able, when you do something that you love and you bless people with the God-given gifts and talents that you've been blessed with, and then you get paid your worth and your value. It's incredible. It's incredible. Another thing that just came to mind, which I'd like to touch on as well, for those that are looking at MCing, whether it is a side hustle or in my case now as a full-time business, just getting the business side right. I've been blessed to be with Henry, an online tax agent for sole traders for a while now, and it's amazing. So the way that Henry operates is that I send out my invoice, a client will pay to the Henry account, which I think is ASB, and then they take out the PAYE, they take out ACC, and then the other tax requirements, and then it's literally like having a job where they will pay you the remainder, and then you get an email with a detailed breakdown of your payslip, and it's like, oh my gosh. And the reason I love it is because as a sole trader, it's taking all the back end stuff, that responsibility away from me, because Henry is a registered tax agent with IRD. So for anyone that's going to sign up with IRD, with Henry rather, HNRY, you can check out their website. Can you put me down as the person that referred you? Because then that'll help me in my fees. Oh, but I reckon the fees are pretty good. Pardon me. For each gig that I get, it's a 1% fee and a maximum of 1,500 a year. And then for anything above that, that's it. It's kept at 1,500. So I love it. And again, it takes away that responsibility whereby I can just focus on the business and the task at hand. And that. So that's pretty much it, family. If there's no other questions, thank you so much, Uzo, for Glenn keeping me company with all your comments. So, whakawelahi mahaki, Mr. Glenn Jackson. Shucks, how many years you've been in the game? You've been in, 15 or something years now yourself, eh? Or more? Golly. So, leave that with your family. If there are any comments that you would, any other comments, please feel free to put them in the comments below, either on my Facebook page or YouTube. If there's something else that you would like me to touch on in future episodes, please feel free. And as part of my business grant, which I shared, last week, and that, praise the Lord, being able to get new gear. So in about the next month or so, I'm going to be reaching out, but I'll put the plug out there now. For those that don't know, I was a broadcaster with Pacific Media Network, Radio 5 for 9 years, and so being able to share thousands of stories from across our Pasifika global diaspora. But if there is anyone that would like your story shared from within our Pasifika community, could be here in New Zealand, around the blue continent, or the Pacific, or further abroad, because praise the Lord for technology whereby we can speak with people from anywhere in the world these days, as long as we've got a good Wi-Fi connection. So I would love to start that up again, starting to share the stories of our Pasifika community, whether you are a scientist, whether you are a technologist, whether you are a singer, an actor, a professional sports athlete, whether you are a student, a professor, could be any number of things. Feel free to message me on PM me on my Facebook page, and we'll connect in that, because you're going to start seeing more and more of that, sharing stories from within our Pasifika community. So that is us. A very big thank you, especially to my brother, Mr. Glenn Jackson, for joining us today. And I started with the Samoan Language Week because it's, of course, a very important week for our Samoan community, but my biggest encouragement, mo isi o tātou ainga o whaafonga mai nei taimi, a whai ele atua lo, what is it, malosi, I le anga nuu wha Samoa, au e te popole to anga pea, ko anga pea, e mo ia wha longo mai ia ke au, ia, e whia lolo, but le a kau mawhai pea, and me being a New Zealand born first generation, I mean, this is coming off the back of another video which I shared from a few years back on New FM about sharing my culture, or passing my culture on to my children. Update. Those ones are like a fairy tale. And you know what? Went to the happy ever after. No, it's still the same. I still need to get my faith into gear and pass on what knowledge that I have of Samoa and the culture to my children. And that. But one thing I do love is that they are asking questions, and I'm not shy to answer. And if I don't know, I love that I can go to any one of my family. We have a family mafukanga, and this is a good one for our young ones. Family meetings every month, we get together, and so the majority is in the language. But sometimes one of the aunties in that will be a translator, and I go, "Oh, that's awesome!" But then my other cousin, my older kasing, is going, "No, no, if they don't know how to speak it, it's their fault." It's like, oh, ruthless. But hey, each to their own. But again, coming back to encouraging young ones, there's so many resources that are available today. But the biggest resource is the family, is your family, your nanas and papas, and that. For those that are still blessed to have their grandparents and parents from the islands, aunties and uncles, even siblings, and that, make use of what we say in Samoa, mea sina, these treasures. When my grand auntie passed away a number of years ago, one of my beloved grand aunties, and to think that I don't think there was any recordings in terms of the knowledge that she had. My auntie passed away in her mid-80s, but encyclopedic knowledge of the ngafa family tree, all the different titles of the village people, just it was like a Samoa anganuu computer she knew. But to think that all that knowledge, I'm not saying it went to waste, but if there was a way that was able to be captured and stored for future generations, and so encouraging those of our Samoan community and those of our Pasifika community in general, don't give up in terms of your learning journey. There's resources, but again, the greatest resources being your family. Make the most of the treasures while they're gone. My dad passed in 2009, and it's like I always say, I can't hug I can't hug a photo. I can't say to a video, a tribute video that I've got on YouTube that my daughter did when he passed. I can't say, "Oh, I love you, Dad," and repeat back to me. Mm. Right. Thank you, Father, for our viewers this evening. And Father, I just pray your covering, your blessing over this week. And Father, I just thank you for this opportunity to share. Bless the viewers this evening and families in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, fams, that's us. God bless. And again, Mr. Glenn Jackson, for going like mahaki monwine.